You are stupid. I am not stupid. Hey Z, how you doing? Nice to talk to you again here. Filming some video on this beautiful Tuesday morning from my home office. Once again, Mike is not with me. We are both of us kind of on different schedules right now, kind of having problems coordinating times to be together for the necessary length of time to get something coherent out. So working on that. Hopefully we can get some time together to film some stuff together. Yeah, just got done watching watching that video on why being poor is so expensive. Boy, good stuff there. The guy has a lot of statements, a lot of things to say that really resonated with me. Rich people, boy, what is it? What is the difference between being rich and being poor? Is it just? It's not just. I mean, what is it? Obviously it's money, but what is it that money gives rich people? And it's really easy. It's safety. Safety is what you get when you're rich. Not just safety from being attacked. Criminals attacking you, getting mugged. Not necessarily that kind of safety, but safety from disease. Safety from healthcare issues, safety from poor nutrition, safety from tooth decay, safety from financial burden, right? This is what being rich affords you is safety. The poorer you are, the more expensive things are going to be. When I first started watching this video, it immediately popped into my head the $10 shoe problem, which the guy actually references that in this video. And for those of you who haven't seen the video I'm talking about, I'll go ahead and lay it out really quickly. The $10 shoe problem is a sort of a thought experiment illustrating how poverty begets poverty. So you have two pairs of shoes. You have a pair of shoes that costs $10 and a pair of shoes that costs $100. The $10 pair of shoes only lasts for a year before they wear out. The $100 pair of shoes will last for 20 years before you have to buy a new pair. Now, a poor person, they can't afford the $100 shoes. But they can afford to buy a $10 pair of shoes once a year. So what you find at the end of 20 years is that a poor person has had to spend $200 on shoes, whereas a rich person has only had to spend $100 on shoes. And this can be applied, this thought experiment, you can apply it to anything: healthcare, dentistry, housing, eating, and it's just an example of how poverty begets more poverty, wealth begets more wealth, and it's to be understood that geography certainly plays a large factor in this. Objectively speaking, it's probably a lot better. You're going to be a lot better off being a poor person in America as opposed to, say, Afghanistan. You're probably going to have a lot easier time of it. And even within the United States, geography will play a part. It's a lot different being poor in Beverly Hills than it is in say, Detroit. When I used to work for the post office, it's kind of an interesting thing. Mailmen. Your salary as a mailman is set. It's the same. It doesn't matter where you live. Your salary is the same. So a mailman living in San Francisco is going to make the same exact amount as a mailman living in Detroit. Mailmen that live in San Francisco typically kind of live at the poverty line. They don't do very well. Mailmen that live in Detroit typically own multiple houses because your money goes a lot further in Detroit than it does in San Francisco. So geography definitely plays a part. But the thing is, poor people, rich people get to save their money, right? Rich people, they don't have to live paycheck to paycheck. They don't have to worry about keeping the lights on. They don't have to worry about covering food costs and healthcare costs. Right, so they can save their money. Poor people, they have to spend their money. They have to borrow, especially very important. Poor people are usually forced to borrow money. right? The guy, he used the example of buying a car. You're buying a car for $1,000. A poor person can't afford $1,000, so they have to go get a loan, and that loan is going to cost them money. A rich person, they can just buy the car for $1,000. They can just have $1,001 bills, and they can buy the car. A poor person getting a loan isn't going to pay $1,000. They're going to pay much, much more because they're going to have to cover the cost of having that loan. Once again, it's the $10 shoe problem. Being poor begets being poor. Loans, that's my personal experience with the loan industry. Loans can be a really tricky thing, especially if you're late on paying a loan. Being late on even just a small loan, it can be $5. I had a customer one time that wasn't aware that they'd had a bill. They thought they had paid it all off, but there was actually $5 left that was still outstanding. They didn't know it, and this bill went past 120 days late because they weren't aware of it. Being 120 days late on a bill that you owe is worse than filing for bankruptcy. Is actually much more difficult to deal with and will affect your credit for much longer period of time. Kind of a real sad thing there. Let's see, reference my notes here. Not all states of poor are equal. The government, our government is really has no clue what poverty is or how to define it. They tend to just apply a number to it, like, if you have this amount of money, you're poor, and if you have this amount of money, you're not poor. And they don't take into account, things like geography, like the fact that it's a lot more expensive to live in San Francisco than it is to live in Detroit. Poverty is going to mean two different things in two different places. It's not relative. And so, what do you do about it? And this is where I really, because in America, we don't want to solve poverty. We want poor people to stay poor. And I kind of, this thought sort of popped into my head. We need people to dig ditches. How do you raise everybody up out of poverty, but still get the ditches dug and still have people working the counter at McDonald's? And I suppose the answer is to understand that there's no reason that person digging a ditch shouldn't make the same amount that a doctor makes. In fact, maybe they should even make more. If you want to make lots of money, you have to dig ditches. If you want to be a doctor and live in a mansion, you're not going to make as much money. Kind of, I don't know, maybe that's a part of a solution. But I think, and this guy, he really makes the point, he really drives this point home at the end of his video. We have to stop criminalizing poverty for profit. Because this is what we do. We prey on poor people. This is how banks make money. The credit card companies, this is how they make money, by preying on poor people. If everybody who had a credit card all paid their bill on time every month, our credit system would probably look a lot different. But the reality is people don't pay their bills on time, and so then the credit card companies can raise your interest rates and apply late fees and penalty fees. The guy gave some fairly startling numbers in his video. Billions upon billions of dollars a year in this country. That's not even real debt. It's just processing fees and late fees and penalties for being late on the other debt that you owe. It's kind of ridiculous. We have to stop using poor people to make money. Okay, late fees, bail, healthcare, landlords, the rental industry is all designed to make money off of poor people. And if you're going to end poverty and you're going to help poor people, you have to stop criminalizing poverty for profit. It's interesting that they found that giving people money actually works really well. It's kind of, it's sort of would seem to go against the norm, against the grain, but surprisingly, it works really well to just give people money. It instantly makes their life better. And there's lots of carrots to go around. There's plenty of carrots to go around if we just stop hoarding. I go back to, I think I made this point in an earlier video. If you look at the United States like it's a business rather than a capitalist society, if you look at it like it's a business, the answers really jump right out at you. I mean, any manager looking at this business would be horrified. Like this is no way to run a business. You've got Division A over here that's hemorrhaging money that it doesn't need, and you've got Division B over here, equally as important, that does not have enough money to operate. Like they desperately need more money to operate and be efficient. Why wouldn't we reallocate our resources? Why wouldn't we take some money from Division A and enrich Division B for the betterment of everybody? I guess that's just crazy communist, commie pinko talk there, I guess. So anyway, I think I'm going to leave it off there for now. We're at a little over 11 minutes here. So you are stupid. I am not stupid. All right, man. Talk to you later.